Throw them things where you want, really. Babies, we're back with episode 7 of Combat on the Couch, brought to you by Carney Combat Sports, produced by the Ugly Franco Productions. Okay, so they told me to do this podcast down here with this big, ugly guy, and I was just kind of ready to, be like, I thought about wearing sunglasses because I didn't want to look at him for too long, so he wouldn't, I wanted to have a poker face. But this guy walks in and he looks like a dime piece, baby. What's the shirt say again? Dump truck daddy? It ain't baby. Lying. He's got the fanny pack for America, living Joe Rogan's dream right now.
Got the stretchy jorts.
He's got the stretchy khaki jorts, and we're in love, okay? We're in love. This is Justin Weaver. Welcome to Combat on the Couch, son.
Thanks for having me.
I'm pumped. I'm excited. Sometimes I get too yelly and loud when I start a podcast, and then I get text messages.
My little dude was pretty excited when I was leaving because he's in class with Keely, so he was pretty stoked. He
listened to it too. So, yeah, he's real happy about it. Real excited. Dude, that was probably one of the funnest things I've ever done with a 10-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I've pretty much done almost nothing with 10-year-olds, right? And that's how it should be because I just don't need to be with 10-year-olds. Maybe when I was 10, I probably did some fun stuff, but as an adult, I've never done a podcast or talked to somebody that's 10 years old. I feel like you break
that 20 to 25 age range. If you have a mustache, they usually just don't let you real close to them.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. I can't remember if I shaved or not either. Yeah. Yeah, no. You always hear that stuff, and then, they don't want to talk to you, so it kind of makes sense. All right, so we're down here. This guy is fighting September 9th. Did you go to the most recent tournament at Subspectrum?
I did. Not to compete, but I coached.
There we go.
And my wife actually competed out there. She'd had a pretty long layoff, a little over 2 years. We just had our second son and stuff. So yeah, she went out there. She only had one girl in her bracket.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she dropped both her matches against her, but it was good to see her back on the match. You got to knock the rust off and everything. So.
As a husband, how's it feel watching your lady do that stuff? Are you kind of like, that's my lady?
Yeah, it's proud, I guess, is what I would say. It doesn't. I know some people get really worried and stuff. I was nervous as hell when she fought. She's had one fight. But yeah, Jits. I don't know. I don't get too stressed out or anything about it. I just like watching her.
That feels like more of a man response. Like, hey, that's my lady. You guys are out here just kind of like, hey, she can handle herself.
Yeah.
Or she thinks she can. We'll see what happens. They probably look at us and say the same thing, though, as men. He thinks he's so strong. Look at him now. He just turned purple.
Luckily, she hasn't had to see that too many times.
I bet not. So what is your record officially?
Oh, goodness. Fighting?
Yeah.
I should know that. Oh, God, I've had, 22 fights now? 23, something like that. I think 21 of them were amateur, or 22, whatever it is. I've had one pro fight. I'm 0-1. A couple years ago in August, I got injury in the first round. Ate a couple leg kicks that I probably should have checked and went down with the old knee. Didn't want to hold me up anymore. But as an amateur, I think I was I don't know, 16 or probably 15-6 or something like that. I'm not sure of the exact.
All right.
So somewhere around there.
Okay. How many of those amateur fights were bar fights? Be honest.
None. Surprisingly, like I said, you know my little brother. Out of the
shout out to him. We love you, Shay.
Kids, I'm probably the one that gets in the least amount of fights that aren't sanctioned, at least. Never really gotten a lot of scuffles. Even in college and stuff, wrestling just it hurts, man. That's why I don't do it now. Even the fights where I make it quick and painless on my side, you're sore the next day. So, and that's gloves, a padded canvas. Well, and there's not a lot of padding, but it's not concrete,
Well, anytime you're putting your hands on somebody and they're putting their hands on you, you're probably gonna be feeling it the next day, unless you're making love or something like that. But you guys don't really do that out there in public like that, so.
Keep that
don't
for
have
practice.
to worry about
That's
that.
Practice. Snuggle
Right.
struggles.
Is there a lot of love making that goes on here at practice with you guys? Maybe
I try
upstairs?
not to pull guard. You know, it's the eye contact is weird. That's why I'm not a guard puller. So.
Interesting. Interesting. We're learning today, folks. We're learning. All right, Justin, tell us about how you started getting into jiu-jitsu and then transition that into how you showed up at Carney Combat and make it quick. No, I'm just kidding.
No, so
question was serious. The ending was.
I'd say my first experience with jiu-jitsu was definitely in the military. I mean, I wrestled, you know, same but different. I wrestled all through high school and college at Hastings College. Are you talking to you, Siri? And
somebody saw that. I was like, he gets it.
Then I joined the military. I was in the National Guard for 6 years. At boot camp, they put you through. It's nothing advanced at all. It's some basic grappling. You know, they teach you some chokes. It's more of a gi style, you know, because you're wearing a uniform. You learn how to use the lapel and everything to choke.
Wiggle that one up a little more.
There we go. Yeah.
That's perfect.
And then, so I come home, whatever. I get done with college wrestling. I didn't finish. That's a whole different story. But
hey, I went to college for track. I didn't finish.
Yeah. I got, too many side studies instead of real studies. But
side studies. Tell me about
after I, kind of gave up on college, a friend of mine, Cody Land, shout out to Cody Land,
shout out Omaha.
To him. He's one of my sponsors, actually, him and his wife, Cody Land, or Land Fitness Community. But he talked me into coming into the gym there in Hastings, which is called Hard Knocks. They're no longer around, but kind of lived up to their name. You know, you come in there, they beat the piss out of you from day one. Like here, we make sure we take care of our guys when they come in and everything, and rightfully so. But 10 years ago or so, I'm sure there's gyms like that still, but it was a little more, Hard Knocks. We trained. It was sort of organized training, but we just kind of beat
good
the crap
place
out of each other.
Good place to start off.
Yeah,
though. Sounds like a perfect place where you kind of just go.
Yeah.
And
if you
maybe you
like
find out you don't like it.
Yeah, if you didn't like it, you bailed. We didn't really care. You know, we had a tight group of guys that were pretty tough, and they beat the shit out of me for a while. And about 2 months in, maybe, I took my first fight. We can circle back around to this, but that's a pretty crazy story. That kid, it was wild.
All right,
kid
so
almost died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
we'll circle back around.
All right. No. Fuck it. I want to talk about it right now. Why did he almost die, bro? Did you almost kill him during the fight? Just be honest.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I'm talking to killers down here, baby.
When I first started, we'd go up to South Dakota, right? And it was not quite as organized as it is here, or up there it's even more organized now. But like I said, this was 10, 11 years ago. They'd let you come up there that night or that day, I guess. You know, I weighed in, and the next day, I think my opponent changed like 4 or 5 times in 24 hours. And that was just kind of normal up there. It was kind of like the Wild Wild West. You know, you could fight twice in a night. And not like I've done that, but it was sanctioned, you know, like planned. Up there, you'd lose, and they'd be like, "Well, you want to fight this guy too? You want to, you got triangled in 45 seconds. You're good. You want to fight again,
right? Yeah."
And
I didn't even sweat,
a lot of
boss.
guys would do it, you know.
It's just king of the mat at this point. Back to wrestling practice, son.
We took I think he was 16 at the time. He's still fighting. Nate Morrow, good kid, tough kid. I think he was like 16 at the time. We took him up there. He knocked out some dude with a head kick. It was amazing. I think he was like 28 or something at the time. Crazy age difference. So, you didn't have to be 18 necessarily. There wasn't really a commission. There was no blood work. That was kind of a sketchy part of it. Thank God I got out of that, testing clean still.
It's rough, dude.
But
it's rough, dude. I know that's a big part of, making sure
so a lot of times
fighters are, safe to touch
safe
each
and
other.
sanitary.
Dude, it's disgusting. You're cutting each other open. You need to get your blood tested.
So it was sketchy really back then, you know. But we didn't.
Yeah.
As young fighters, you don't give a shit. You just go,
dude.
But we were the same weight in anything. It's not like we were mismatched in that manner. But I cut a lot of weight. You know, I was used to cutting weight from wrestling. I was a pretty big dude. Not quite like I am now, but I walked at probably 80, 85, and I cut to 55. And this little guy, he looked like he probably walked around at 155.
Right.
We go out there, and I go to touch gloves, and he just comes running across the cage, and I kind of get a weird feeling, in that split second.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he tries to throw a flying knee And from what I recall, I kind of changed my level, come up from under him, and just kind of took his legs out.
Yeah.
We go to the ground.
Yeah.
I get a 2-on-1, so like we call it a seatbelt in wrestling, right? Like I pinned his arm here, and I'm behind him. I hold it.
Oh, okay.
He stands up. If you have any sort of wrestling or grappling or fighting experience, you kind of keep your hips low center of gravity, fight the hands, whatever.
Makes sense.
Kid just stands straight up, like just straight up, like you're just standing chilling.
All right.
And with the size and strength difference and the experience I had, wrestling, throwing people stuff, what I thought happened was I just kind of returned him to the mat, the canvas. My friends informed me that's not what happened. I kind of went straight over the back, the shoulder. And where I happened to have that arm pinned, his face was lucky enough to break his fall, which I think that might have been what put him out there.
That'll do it, yeah.
But we were in my corner. I remember Obi, Chad Obermiller. He's a old, I shouldn't say old, he's an OG in the fighting community.
Shout out to him.
He didn't even quit fighting that long ago, surprisingly, but he was my coach at the time. He was also very active fighting, but I'm right in the corner, which is always great. You can hear your corner coaching you and everything. I'm terrified, even though this is going really well in my favor.
Right.
Kid looks tiny to me before the fight. Like, I'm terrified. First fight ever. So I'm probably hitting this dude harder than I've ever hit anyone.
Yeah, you just don't know what to do.
Pure fight or flight, and I'm only fighting because I can't run out of the damn cage because it's locked. So I pull my left hand out, and I hit him with, I think, maybe 3 or 4 hammer fists. Like I said, it like my life depended on it. Like I'm fighting a gorilla. Not
yeah. That's what I was picturing, dude.
And at about the 3rd or 4th one, I remember thinking, like, it felt weird, and at the same time I could hear Obi yelling like, "He's out, ref, he's out." Yeah. And also just
there was no reaction. It was a weird feeling. It was a weird feeling
striking someone who's they're knocked out or whatever. And I remember I felt like I lightened up. They were probably still hard, but they weren't like life or death strikes. And I don't know, he probably ate 4 or 5 more. Ref finally pushes me off of him. He comes to, we come to the center, they raise my hand, this and that. We go our way. I was like one of the early fights in the card. Later on in the night, Obi tells me, "Hey dude, they just took that guy on a stretcher." I'm like, "Oh shit," he's like, I thought they were messing with me, because we just bust each other's balls all the time. And he's like, "No, man, like they really took him out." I'm like, "Oh shit." He's like, "Don't feel bad, like don't feel bad about it." And I was like, "I don't feel bad. We got in there under the understanding, shit happens."
That's kind of how it goes.
And then so later on, towards the end of the night, I think it was Obi again, or someone informed me that they were life flighting the kid, because we were in like some small South Dakota town, right? We fought in like I think it was like an old armory building.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, they're life flighting that kid to Pierre, South Dakota," and I was like, "Oh shit," like that's wild. Yeah. Because they told me what happened is he collapsed on the way back to the locker room.
Oh wow.
So they life flight him out. I kind of stay in touch with, I think it was like his cousins or his sister or something. I don't remember for sure. But they ended up, because of the swelling and stuff on his brain, from what I understood, they'll drill a hole in your head to relieve the pressure.
I think so.
And then he was in a coma for 2 or 3 weeks.
Like a medically induced coma?
Yes, they induced it because of the swelling, I guess, to slow down your heart rate and pressure and stuff like that, I guess. But
you heal when you're,
Yeah, so I, like I said, I kept in touch, because that's crazy. Like, obviously, that'd be a way different story to tell if, the unthinkable would have happened and he would have died or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have kept fighting. That'd be
that's what the question was. Yeah.
But yeah, kept in touch. The last I heard and stuff, he come out of it. Kind of almost as if he had like a stroke victim or something, where one side's kind of a little wonky and lag. Yeah. I didn't keep in touch that long. I didn't hear back from much after, but so he made it, and I don't know. I'm assuming he never fought again. Hopefully he made as close to a full recovery as possible, if not a full recovery. But yeah, pretty wild. Sometimes I forget that ever happened. Pretty wild introduction to the fight world.
Dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, it was.
You were keeping in contact with his sister?
It was his sister or his cousin. I don't.
Were you married at this time?
No.
Was his cousin hot?
I don't even remember. They were. If I remember, I believe they were. I think they were native, because I know we were kind of joking around saying like, "Man, this guy must have just come right off the res," no training and stuff. Because we're like, man, it did not look like we should have been in the cage together. I mean, we weighed the same, all that good stuff.
It didn't look right.
I hadn't been training a lot fighting, but it was all wrestling instinct, to slam like that and everything.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And I mean, anyone could throw a hammer fist, So, and that's really all I did.
Not a lot of people get into that position to be able to. Yeah. So, I mean, not everybody can. Not everybody can.
And at that point, what's crazy is like, I pulled that out. He wasn't experienced either. So, but you fast forward now, 11 years or whatever. And my last amateur fight before I went pro, I had a slick little armbar against Josh Sunoco, I think is how you pronounce his last name, there in Kearney at the Ramada. And the one before that, I fought Keelan Fantroy. He's very active. He's a pro now as well. My buddy Tower just fought him not too long ago.
There's a dude named Tower.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
That's his first name?
Either. Yes, sir. That is his legal name.
Hold on. And of course he does this, and he's short.
Yeah.
Wait, short like me short or short like?
Oh, man. Tower's probably like...
I'm like 5'8" for the record.
Probably 5'7", maybe 5'8", yeah.
Okay.
He's not like incredibly short, but he's not towering over anyone.
I feel it. I feel it. That's pretty much me. Yep.
Yeah.
Short boys.
Yeah, he fought my buddy.
Interesting. All right.
Those two matches right before this last loss, I didn't really get to display much of my hard work. Really disappointing because I put in a lot of work for that camp. I went down and trained in Kansas City at Glory for a little while with Grant Dawson. Shout out to Grant Dawson.
Shout out to him.
Hopefully we're going to see him fight again here soon. He just cracked the top 10 in the UFC. We had a couple fights back in the day. He was my first sanctioned amateur fight, and I was his last amateur fight before he went pro.
Very good, very good. Okay, so let's get into the coaching now, boss. Slow it down for a second. How did you get started? How did you meet Richard? Were you coaching before?
No. So I guess me and Richard have known each other, or at least known of each other for quite a while. He was fighting back around the time I was, back in the day. I think around the time I took like a 4-year layoff after I had my first son. And then me and my wife just went stir crazy, and we finally decided to get back into it. But we knew each other. We knew of each other, just not real close or anything. My wife came down, and we went to some Dynasty Combat fights, the promotion that's putting on these here in September. Real close with those guys,
Shout out to Dynasty Combat Sports.
Hip and Train. Good dudes. Always taking care of me. Always have through the years. And I think they actually hooked me up with the tickets for that fight. I took Megan when she came down from Canada. My wife's from Canada originally.
Very nice.
And took her to the fights, and that was actually the fights where Richard fought for the belt. I don't know how many fights he had after that, but I think shortly after that is when he got out. And when we moved back down here from Lincoln, I remember we stopped in at the gym. This would have been like 3 locations ago for the Kearney Combat.
Yeah.
And because this would have been in 2016, right before we had our son.
All right.
And we stopped in, rolled a little bit, whatever, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna start training and stuff. And then, life happens. First kid, we weren't ready, no matter how ready you think you are. And we didn't even think we were ready. So
that's kind of the story, right? You think you're ready, maybe you're not ready. Yeah. It's happening anyway. I have too much,
Right.
I've got too much things going on, so I haven't had the ability to keep a woman around. I can't make them happy because I'm just too busy. So
it's hard when you look like us too, It's
just so ugly.
I had to order a mail order,
Yeah,
so,
dude.
And
and they still didn't come, huh?
No, it took forever to get her here. She doesn't really do a lot of chores, but what do you do?
You're gonna be in trouble. He's gonna be in trouble. He's gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna cut him off.
Nah, she really is. Shout out to my wife too. She's one of the. Not even one of the. She's the best thing that could happen to me. I was a wild child.
Correct answer.
Settled me down a lot.
Survey says correct answer.
She didn't pay me or threaten me to say that at all. Just disclaimer. I'm sorry.
This guy.
But
I tell you what, dude. Come on down to Kearney Combat and just hang out. All right. Meet the coaches. Meet the people.
Good time in here.
We're just hanging, baby.
We came back in here. In 2019, we finally decided, man, we need friends. We hang out with a toddler all day and do nothing. Not even a toddler at that point. He's like 2. I don't know if you call that a toddler yet. But so we came in, talked to Rich. This would have been when we were across the street, kind of down in the dungeon gym there. I don't know if you ever saw that one. But it was like having this down here, I think smaller even though. But anyway, we come back and I was like, hey man, I think I want to get back into it. Me and Megan want to start going again. I think I want to take another fight, this and that. I think this idea actually got spurred when Crown Peach first hit the shelves.
Shout out to Crown Royal Peach.
Yeah, this was a decision we made. I'm 99% sure we made this decision when we were drinking Crown Peach one night with a couple of buddies from work. I like best decision I ever made. We get back in here, which is real cool with us. We got pretty close to Rich. I don't know. Just kind of happened organically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're both older, been around the fight scene and stuff for a while.
Right. You see each other around, you're kind of like, all right, well, he's sticking around.
Yep.
Now we're getting into our older days, figuring out who's going to be around, who you want to be around.
And I know when I first came back in, when I first started fighting, like all the way up until about 2019, 2020, I didn't really embrace jiu-jitsu. I was a wrestler. I'd take you down, use my size and strength and speed, smash. I didn't really hunt for a lot of submissions. Maybe easy stuff like a rear naked choke, I think is about the only thing I ever hit.
So why didn't you want to go into any jiu-jitsu? What did you think jiu-jitsu was? You thought it was like
not wrestling?
Lame.
Yeah, kind of. Okay. I just had that like,
you're
not going to change my style kind of thing, But why I love Richard and his style and his gym so much, and I still do here, is the style of jiu-jitsu. There's lots of different styles. You got your slick with it submission guy. You got like 10th Planet. They're always doing like funky stuff. I can't even pronounce the names. I'm pretty sure they make half of them up, to be honest.
Yeah.
But this is where Kearney and South Central Nebraska in general, UNK especially, is a heavily wrestling influenced area.
I'd agree.
Our style matches with that, right? We're a lot of heavy pressure. Wear them down. Bryce Mitchell, I like watching him in the UFC. I think he has shirts and stuff, says cook him to the bone, like a pressure cooker.
My
Just
goodness.
cook him, make him want to submit to you, right?
Dang.
Just smash, and then they'll give you the submission, right?
Wow.
So that style matched what I already liked to do with my wrestling and my top pressure, and I also got tired of getting my ass kicked and getting caught in arm bars and stupid stuff, so I embraced it, and I started to excel at it a little more, and going out to subspectrum, I think, was something for the first time for me, was something that really turned me on to it too, because it was fun. Like I realized there's competitive things I can do again,
right,
with jiu-jitsu. Like
right.
I missed that competition level of
suiting up
college wrestling. Yeah, like and it's less harsh on the body than fighting, right? Even though I do say I would love to try sometime combat jiu-jitsu. I don't know if you've ever seen that or heard of that, but there's open palm striking.
I've seen.
It's a lot more brutal than you would think, but but I'm cool with that, because like I can strike on my feet, but I'm not by nature. My whole career hasn't been focused on striking.
All right,
so
all right.
I'm very dominant on the ground. I can hold my own on my feet. Do what I got to do, but the ground is where I like to be,
Okay.
And so I think it'd be fun to try that sometimes, some of the combat jiu-jitsu with some strikes on the ground,
Huh.
So I'd like to try that out. But yeah, just coming back here, I'd say, just made me fall in love with jiu-jitsu. And then.
So hold up. You said something. Hold up. You said something about doing jiu-jitsu. Yeah, when you kind of like gave in and just went kind of towards jiu-jitsu more, why was that? Because you said you were getting beat up. So did you have this little thing inside of you that was kind of just like, well, how are they getting better at me? I'm such a good wrestler.
Yeah,
why are they able to do this to me?
I tend to
Did that eat at you?
kind of obsess over things. I don't like.
It's good. It's healthy.
Yeah, and it's benefited me in like all the jobs and stuff I've had. I've done a ton of stuff. Construction, Jimmy John's, server at B-Dubs.
Fantastic.
Worked at BD as a mechanic, all sorts of stuff with no mechanical experience. But I seem to excel there, and now I'm working as a trainer for CDL for truck drivers, and not a ton of experience when I started that, and I've caught on really well. But when I do something, I always joke about, like at work, you always have that guy that's like, you're in the break room, you're like, oh, man, Jim Bob that guy doesn't do shit, doesn't know how to do his job. Yeah. He's always, what?
Usually they talk about me.
Guy.
Usually that's me, yeah.
I never want to be that guy. So like, I'm always underselling myself, and I strive to be better at shit. I'd say where it's a fault is like I want to get good at stuff really fast.
Oh,
like
that's a problem.
I start a job and I meet the mechanic or the tech or someone that's been there for like 30 years, and I'm like, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy that everyone asks the questions. I want to be the guy in the gym that knows like all this stuff, and you go to me for, but I want to do that, but he's been doing it for 30 years. I want to do it now.
Right.
I want to know all that stuff right now.
Right. Yeah.
Which doesn't happen, but
you don't get it.
It's a good thing because you dive into it.
Yeah.
And coaching has helped because it's made me more well-rounded. Because I can't just teach everyone what I do, because not everyone has the same body type, the same style, and also we have a curriculum to follow, right? So by coaching, I'm like, we'll have a curriculum for the month, and I'll be like, shit, I'm not very good at that. That certain skill set. Maybe it's not something I usually use. So I'm like, I got to watch some tapes. I got to watch some videos, some technique footage, and it makes me better because then I get to absorb all that knowledge. And
notice what he just said. He noticed that he wasn't good at it, and then he was like, well, got to go watch film. He didn't say, well, better just quit.
Yeah. We'll just skip that one for now. Like, I
don't think that one doesn't even matter. We don't need to watch that one. I don't need to be good at that one.
Right.
No, you go into the work.
And
how did that skill be developed? Because that's a skill. That's a skill. That's a huge skill.
Like being obsessed like that for, wanting to thrive?
Yes, but mainly just like finding a problem and then like working harder to fix the problem, because there are two different people. Yeah. One of them fixes, one of them works harder, and one of them walks away.
Yeah, it's too tough. It's a challenge. I don't know. I guess in part probably the way I was raised a little bit, I guess. And then I don't know if some of it is just personality wise. I don't know.
Built different.
Yeah. Built different. It's always been a thing.
Dump truck different?
Dump truck daddy different. That's kind of like, when I was working as a tech and a mechanic and stuff, I like working on stuff because it's not that I had a ton of experience, but I'll look at stuff. And I think that's why I like jiu-jitsu too. It's a chess game. It's a problem. You got to solve it. Everything's a problem. And there's a million different problems in jiu-jitsu, right? Every reaction has a reaction. And, there's a reaction to that and a counter to that and then a counter to this. And then you're getting baited to do that. And, even as a black belt, like they say that's when you start to learn. You're a black belt, right? Because there's just so much. And at that point, you have a good understanding of it.
Really? That's when you start to learn? 10 years in?
You're just trying to figure it out up until then. Survive,
I've heard that before, actually. I've heard that pretty much 10 years into anything, you're kind of an expert now. You're pretty much a professional. Before that, you're just figuring it out.
Yeah. And
it's nuts!
Yeah, it's everything I do, I'm just trying to get better all the time.
What do you want to get better at what do you want to get better at home, and then what do you want to get better at the gym?
At home, I don't really know.
He's just the perfect man, ladies. He's just texting me. He's excited about his new weed eater leaf blower. What else did you get, dude?
Power washer, man.
Is that grass in your face?
Probably. I had to shower up before I came in here. My patio is spotless now. It's amazing.
Oh, nice.
Installed a nice little fence along the edge of it. It's real nice.
Oh, real nice.
But I'd say at home, I do pretty good at it, or I try to a lot of the times, but not even at home, but just in life in general. Social media. Or not just social media. Social media, I think, is a good tool, especially when you're fighting or you're coaching or you're promoting a business and stuff like that. But the mindless scrolling.
Yeah.
I hate when I catch myself doing that.
Yeah.
And I call
what do you want to do instead of that?
Read, sit down and communicate with my wife more, maybe, because I feel like I don't do it as much, or I try not to when my kids are around, because I'm pretty engaged with my kids usually. But we always kind of joke about it being a thing, because, you see, for instance, TikToks and Instagram Reels and stuff joking about it, how like, tell me you're a couple with kids without telling me you're a couple with kids. And it's like them sitting there at night when they're finally getting relaxed, like just, 3 feet from each other, sending each other memes and stuff. And we do that. And like I said, in a way, I think it is good.
Nothing wrong with it.
Right? It is good because it's you're still connecting, and we talk and stuff like that. But yeah, I want to get better at like having a like a schedule at home, and just being like, hey, from this time frame, this hour before we hit the hay and stuff, let's kill the phones and do something, and stuff like that. Sometimes I think back when I grew up on a farm and stuff like that, and I'm like, man, sometimes I think about the stuff my kids aren't going to experience and I got to, and I'm like, oh, like for instance, most places now you have like an open concept, right? Your kitchen and dining room, like living room and stuff.
Yeah.
And growing up, like we sat down at the dinner table.
Island? Did you have an island growing up?
We had a big dinner table. Small little kitchen, and we didn't watch TV. It was funny because my stepdad always got to watch TV. He sat in the seat that you could see through the house.
Oh, what a turd.
But we couldn't watch the TV. We'd get lectured. But yeah, we don't have a dinner table now, right? Like, and we kind of eat, on our own schedule and stuff. I meal prep a lot. Like I sell meal preps at the gym and stuff like that.
Busy guy.
And we eat those same meal preps at home and everything. And so it's kind of like we all have our own little schedules and stuff. So like we don't really sit down at the dinner table and stuff like that. And I know it's a necessary evil, but sometimes it like gets to me. I'm like, man, we should really just have a table and like sit down and stuff. But we do plenty of other stuff as a family too. But yeah, I at home I'd say I need to get a better consistent schedule. And I think I'll get there
respectable.
Too, I just got to a normal daytime job. For almost 7 years, I worked a night shift.
Oh, dude. I worked Domino's for like 2 years, nights.
Yeah, it sucks.
Domino's, B-dubs.
Messes with
nightlife.
Your whole schedule, your eating schedule, your sleep schedule. You just
7
don't
years
feel like
you were
a
doing
normal
it?
person. Yeah.
Oh, you really don't.
It's weird. Especially when
time.
it's like a 2 days on, 2 days off kind of thing. And like,
yeah,
it's odd.
Yeah, it's rough. My days off were just sleeping. It was non-existent. I was the most stagnant I've ever been in that time. Still doing things like outside of like a job that pays me minimum wage or whatever. Still doing that stuff, but like always doing like this stuff, but like night. Like if I'm not doing it during the day, I'm not. I'm sleeping until 4.
Yep.
Like I'm not doing it during the day.
And then of course me, like I said, I want to be good at everything. That includes like trying to be a good husband, dad, all that good shit. So like, I would, a lot of times if I could manage it, it would catch up to me, some weeks or at the end of the week, whatever. But I would try to just get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep so I could get up and have, because I'd work 12-hour shifts. So I'd come home, during the school year, take my kid to school, come home, hit the hay, try to be back up because I'd get off at 7 or whatever, and I try to be back up by like 1 noon or 1 sometimes, and I just sacrifice sleep. Like I said, it would catch up to me sometimes, and I'd have days where I'd sleep in, try to get a full 6 or 8, but I would just sacrifice that sleep because I'm like, man, I can sleep when I'm dead. I need to spend time with my kids and stuff. So yeah, I was pretty bad about that, but
guy just grinding, man.
Coaching.
Right. Yeah. Let's get into coaching. So what are some of the things that you're excited for just like being a part of? What are you excited about being a part of in the gym in general? What are some things that maybe you create excitement and then you get excitement from?
I love seeing like this last subspectrum we went to, and I think even the one before that, I didn't get to go out there for that one, but seeing like a legitimate big group of people go out, 12, 14 people, whatever. It's awesome to see the kids compete too. I love watching the kids compete. Man, like adults get excited over stuff too, but there's nothing more genuine than an excited child, especially getting a win or just being out there on the mats having a good time. I love that.
Right? And that they're doing something positive, and you see them, like just.
And I'm not even coaching those kids' classes anymore, but I still, they hold a place,
they're staying out of trouble, like it's just a fun, like that moment means so much.
Yes. It's like
people don't really realize like how many hours go into being able to watch them on the mat.
You don't appreciate the small things as much when you get older, typically. So. But I love watching the kids compete. I love watching the adults compete. The adults, like I said, I love when we have like a big group at a tournament because it just puts me in that like, like when we used to take a whole bunch of people to fight. So and like this Carney show, it's going to be stacked with people from the gym.
Yeah.
Like it just brings me back to like wrestling in high school and college when your whole team was there, and you were all rolling together and like you were just, a family pretty much of people competing. And so now that we have a big team kind of built, you know, and the fights and the jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff like that, having a big group like that and like a little family there, you know, having each other's back, cheering each other on.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just awesome. I love seeing that. And I told Richard, cause I started coaching the kids class first, and then I was doing both, that and the beginners grappling class, no gi. And then part of the problem I have too with trying to be good at everything is I also put too much on my plate a lot of times.
That's pretty. Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Richard kind of recognized that, and so we ended up. I kind of phased out of doing the kids one just because I was always running, man. Like just with my job, and it was just constant. Like
12 hours.
It was hard to make it here.
And then having things to do after that.
Yeah, it was hard to make it here on time. Like to get my kid here and to coach, and I just hate showing up late or like rushing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And to rush knowing you're still going to be late every time by like 5 minutes, it's just inevitable, and it just bothered me. And I got run down, and I have Crohn's disease and stuff like that. Kind of
talk about that for a second. I don't know anything about Crohn's disease, straight up. You texted me something a while ago, and we were talking about eating fruit and stuff. Let's go into that for a second, because that's what I know, and that's what I love.
I got diagnosed with that in
what is
2016. So Crohn's is an autoimmune disease, similar to ulcerative colitis. So, but UC is just isolated to like your colon, right?
Hold up.
Crohn's.
Slow down. I don't know what ulcerative colitis is.
So you get a bunch of ulcers just in your colon area, though. Where Crohn's is an autoimmune disease, it affects everything. Most commonly known is your digestive tract, because people, you know, joke about Crohn's like you're crapping your pants and stuff like that. And it does. It wrecks your digestive system. But on top of that, like the ulcers can be all throughout. Like you can get like the canker sores, the little ulcers inside your mouth.
Really?
Have them like in your esophagus.
This is cool.
Yeah. And it's, I've learned to handle it pretty well, just through my diet and my lifestyle and stuff.
Right.
My doctor actually, you know, he kind of tells me, because they were pushing me for a while to get on like Humira and stuff like that, but it's like $5,000 a month or some crazy amount like that.
Well, tell us what it does. So it just puts ulcers and canker sores in your mouth?
Yeah, you get ulcers in your gut. Mine are usually like lower tract, like rectum, colon,
right,
lower large intestine.
Right.
So I'm 34 and I've had like 4 colonoscopies already. Those are always fun. Which, I mean, they knock you out for them.
Fantastic.
It's nothing but the
you
prep
don't remember them?
sucks,
Real
though.
Bill Cosby style?
Yeah, you wake up, you know, sometimes they'll bring you a martini. Sometimes you get it beforehand.
Really?
But the prep for it is the worst part, because you got to drink this nasty, like, I don't know, it's just this slimy drink. Yeah. And with me, a lot of times, a couple of times I've been so sick that I haven't even like been able to hold that stuff down. But when I'm that sick, I can't really keep anything in me anyway, so I'm pretty much cleansed out. But it's it gets, when it gets really bad. I have some pictures I'll have to show you sometime that I in 2019 I went from about 200 or 205 pounds to within, I think, 2 months, 6 weeks, somewhere in there. When I finally checked into the hospital before my procedure, I was 148, I think. So around 50, 55 pounds in like a couple months span. 6 weeks.
You guys don't know, unless you're doing it extremely like deliberately and purposefully and watching your health and nutrition, that's too fast to lose weight.
Yeah. And especially for a dude, I mean, it's not like I was losing body fat. Like it
losing
went from,
muscle.
Yeah, it went from being like big built like I am now to like, you just saved me from Auschwitz. Like it was, the pictures are terrible. Like I looked horrible.
Really?
And, right before I went in for the procedure at the end, they actually had me in the ER twice, just basically to get IV bags and then leave. They wanted to keep me, but I'm the only one working in the household, and that the plant I was at shuts down in December, so I was trying to make it like 4 more days, and the doctor looked at me like I was insane, probably because I was insane. But he's like, "Oh, we need to keep you and run these tests and whatnot," and I was like, "Yeah, I can't do that." And he's just like, "Okay, well, I mean, I can't keep you here, but that's a bad idea." I was like, "Well, yeah, maybe, but I got to go to work, man." Like, I was like, in like 4 more days, I'll come in here and you can run all the tests you want, but I got to go to work. So I just survived. The IVs would help a little bit, because that's what happens is like when it gets really, really bad like that, you have so many ulcers and sores and stuff in your gut going on that not only does it irritate your gut so bad and you're in a lot of pain, so your body just kind of shuts down as far as hunger goes. So I couldn't really eat. And when I would eat, I also had must have been so many sores and stuff in my upper digestive tract that I would throw it up most of the time.
Oh, really?
So they tried putting me on medication at first, but about all I could stomach like maybe a half a piece of toast to try to get that medicine down in the morning. And that was about all I was eating for probably 3 weeks. I bet I ate under 300 calories a day. It was bad.
That's ridiculous.
I just had to try as hard as I could to stay on top of fluids. Because,
yeah, right.
Even that I'd like throw it up sometimes. It got pretty bad.
Wow.
Oddly enough, except for the end when I was like deathbed sick, up till like the last 2 weeks, coming in here though and like rolling a little bit and stuff, for some reason, man, I would feel good for that short amount of time. My theory was, you get your blood pumping, you're in here rolling, getting a good roll in a workout, and all your muscles kind of take that blood pump and everything. And my theory was just you don't have all that blood and everything sitting in your gut. You know what I mean? All that inflammation and stuff. Huh. My theory. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I was enjoying myself and I didn't think about the pain. I don't know. Yeah. But I'd come and get a roll in or something. Because Richard was like, man, you're crazy. Like, because every once in a while I'd kind of get some stomach cramps or pains and I'd have to run off the mats and go in the bathroom or whatever. But But for the most part, it made me feel better to come in and get some exercise.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, if anyone out there has like, chronic gut issues or, there's too many people in America, man, because a lot of it's diet related too.
It's pretty much all diet related. Yeah. No.
Because mine it's an autoimmune disease, but with my diet and stuff, I can control it. And I can even sometimes, if they don't get out of hand, I can nip the flare-ups in the butt too by, like I was talking to you, kind of a bone broth, fresh fruits. Just keep it nice and easy on the gut. No, like I love red meat, but it's a little harder to digest, so I stay away from it when that's happening. And because I realized that when I did those colonoscopy preps, I noticed that like usually right after I do my colonoscopies, I would start getting a little better, like right away. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because they're not doing anything other than running a scope up your butt,
cleaning out your colon.
Yeah, and it was like, but yeah, you had to go that day or two of like no food. You had to fast and just drink water and stuff. And I was like, I think that helps your gut because you keep eating and it just flares up. It irritates whatever's going on in your gut. So now if I start having issues, I just automatically go to like just a quick little like even a day fast or something to try to let my gut heal itself and keep it easy.
Yeah,
and that seemed to help. And
that's 100. Yeah, no, that's great.
Now coaching and with a new job, and my stress levels are down a lot, and I seem to be doing a lot better because that seems to be one thing that'll affect it too. Is if I could just get run myself too rampant, and I just get stressed out and overwhelmed, and that seems to flare it up sometimes. But so I'm lucky to have the gym. It's good stress relief. I love being here. My whole family's involved. My wife fights and trains, and I fight and train and coach. And my little boy's been training since he was 4.
Right.
And like I said, we're real close with Rich and Chelsea and Alex. So it's just like hanging out with family here.
You got to stay healthy. The best thing that you could possibly do is just fast when you start to feel something going on. Yep. And with ulcers, you got to eat vegetables and greens and just a bunch of freaking blueberries.
It's weird
because the blood vessels in your stomach, it just kind of like puts more blood to them for some reason.
And there are some veggies that I actually have to avoid just because of the. I don't know.
What were those?
I think broccoli's bad because like
can't do broccoli.
The tops of the broccoli, I think what it is because it's the same reason I can't have like nuts, cashews, and stuff like
that.
That
give
stuff
you gas.
It gets jammed in the ulcers. Really? You think about stuff like that, it doesn't digest as well, right? Because it's like. I'm terrible with terminology, but I don't know, soluble or insoluble fiber, whichever one is which, it doesn't break down.
Too smart for me.
So it'll irritate your gut because that stuff's going through there and it doesn't really like break down. It's like nuts and stuff like that. You think about like you chew up, nuts, like mixed nuts in your mouth, it gets stuck in your teeth and stuff, right, in the little cavities.
Right.
Same thing. You got to think you got little pits and sores in your gut, lining your gut. So
interesting. I've been eating a lot of nuts and fruit.
which
I don't know if I have an ulcer because I didn't go to the doctor.
You might not have ulcers and stuff if it doesn't bother you, but it could just be an inflammation thing too, you know? So
I felt really fat. I just felt like super like bloated.
Yeah, probably.
All the time.
Yep.
I had heartburn for like a month.
That's probably
super bad.
Yep.
And then I threw up blood one morning after a night of drinking. And it was like by all means a good night of drinking. Like I didn't go crazy.
Didn't go too hard.
And I got home safe.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have thrown up blood. So it just scared me, and then I just looked up a bunch of stuff about why I would have done that. Okay, now that leads into this. Okay, It's not this for sure. It's not this for sure. Don't have cancer probably. Don't know, but we're gonna try this.
We're
and
gonna
this
lead
and
away from
this.
that one.
Yeah, so it was just fruit fast for like 2 whole days, and then mainly like lemon water, and then cucumber water, and did that for 2 days, and I lost like 10 pounds of just bloat. I swear, it just cleaned out my colon. Now I'm just walking, golfing, and being like basically normal. I'm just doing an active life, but I don't work out. I don't set out time to work out.
Just gotta be
and
active.
I got abs. I got like veins. Like my forearms are strong. Like I'm carrying a lot of trays at Perkins. It's totally fine.
Find an activity, a hobby that you like, whether it's golfing, frisbee golfing, jiu-jitsu. That's why I love jiu-jitsu and grappling. I hate running, man. I hate running. I used to run long distance in high school and stuff, but I only did it to stay in shape for wrestling because that was my sport.
Yeah.
And like now I'm old, my knees hurt. I'm just old and arthritic and whatever. But grappling, I love doing it. So even though it's pushing you and pushing your cardio and burning calories, like you don't think of it as exercise, right?
Right.
You're enjoying
You just
yourself.
like it.
Like when you go golfing, hell, you probably walk 5 miles in a day, if not more.
Well, you walk the whole thing, but
little golf cart action.
Yeah,
but yeah, you're doing a lot of walking, right? A lot of steps.
Oh yeah,
but you don't think about it
all day.
Yeah, you're not thinking about it though. You're having a good time.
Yeah, and
So
if you're
that's the
not
important
drinking the
thing.
whole time, I don't drink when I'm golfing either. I don't drink when I'm out there. Most people drink when they golf, and there's just nothing wrong with
it's
it.
about
But
the only way I golf usually. But I haven't been golfing in a long
there's
time.
nothing wrong with it. But I can't drink when I golf. Otherwise, 4 holes in, I'm like, tummy hurts. Time to drop Jish off.
Yep.
Take me back.
Yeah, find a hobby. That's why, that's what I love about seeing, people come in here and bringing their kids in here and stuff too, because it's fun to watch people enjoy themselves and be happy and healthy and active. I'll talk to people, people ask me all the time, at work or just friends and stuff like, oh, I've been thinking about getting in, but like, I want to get in shape first. And I'm like, no, dude, or I'm too old. I'm like,
Not how it goes.
dude, we got people in their 40s, 50s. We got people that are 100 pounds. We got
Okay,
people
I'm gonna
that are
be them. I'm
400
gonna be the
pounds.
bad guy trying to not to come to the gym, but say I want to come to the gym, bro. But this is this. Tell me everything. Okay, so I want to come to the gym, but I'm not. I'm too old, bro.
Yeah, no, we got. I want to make shirts. So I'm such a squirrel when it comes to
Yeah, you are
all over the place.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
I want to make
It's
shirts
fine.
that say Weaver's School of Geriatric Jiu-Jitsu.
What's geriatric mean, bro?
Old people, geriatrics, right? Weaver's School of Geriatric.
It's gonna go
Jiu-Jitsu.
over my stupid
With
head.
like a guy in a walker with a gi on.
Yeah.
And you know how people say all gas, no brakes?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have like that, but with an X through it and be like pass gas, take brakes or something like that. Weaver School of Geriatric Jiu-Jitsu. Because we always, joke around. We got people in there. We're not super old, but we're in our 30s. We got
Right?
people
Yeah,
in
you
their
guys are
40s.
old people. Yeah, go home.
We got all these college kids coming in here, and I'm like, man, I am old. I think about college, and I'm like, wow, that was almost 20 years ago. That's wow.
So what about the old people that say I'm too old, and then they say, well, everybody that's old at the gym is already jacked. I'm not going. I'm too old and fat.
No, I got big guys up there. I got old guys and gals up there, and they do just fine. And another thing I get it when people are in here is sometimes they're more intimidated to go with us jacked guys or us people that are
It's gonna hurt me.
a purple belt.
I've never even done this
or a
before.
brown belt or someone
Yeah.
the hell with belts. Maybe they've just been training for 10 years.
Yeah, they just know
Those are the
stuff.
people you want to go with. Those are the people who know how to control their
What?
body.
Are you kidding me?
And
Are
know
you
how to
crazy?
take
No,
care
I don't
of
want to
you.
wrestle with him. Are you
Right?
serious?
It's like, oh, he's going to mess me up. No, he's not. He's going to use you as a round to not humiliate you, but he's going to better himself, and not by throttling you. He's going to better himself by wrestling or rolling at your speed, or this is what you should do if you're experienced, right? You're going to roll at their speed. You're going to put yourself in bad positions, right? Because you should do that at someone, who may be a little lower level, because then you're able to think through and maybe try some new stuff, put yourself in some positions you're not that good at. That way you have a chance to learn them a little better and get out of them with someone who, isn't going to be able to dominate you the whole round. So, and also, like I said, it makes you better, sometimes. Like, you want a mix, right? You want guys that are going to kick your ass and push you. You want people pretty equal to you. That's always a good match to see. People equal, just climbing the ranks
good
together.
Fight. That's what we call a good fight.
Good training partners.
It's a good game. We want to see a good game, right?
But you need those lower level guys too, to work on that stuff with and to teach them. Just like coaching, like I said, makes me better. You teach those people stuff and you take it easy on them and you roll light and you're able to really focus on your technique and your form. Where it's hard. You might get a little sloppy and use your muscles or something to muscle through some stuff. So, but yeah, I tell people it is friendly. Richard's very adamant, like when I'm coaching and stuff, right? I come, from wrestling, military, farm kid, like, oh, you're fine. You don't need to go to the doctor, tough it out. Don't be Yeah. And, so I have a tendency, that's probably the biggest thing Richard has to remind me every now and then is, if someone's in here on their trial week or something, we usually don't let them go do the live stuff their first week or two. We don't need one getting hurt. We don't want them to get, throttled or beat up and be like, yeah, F that's not for me. Like, I don't want to go in there. So we try to take care of the people. And I have a tendency, sometimes I forget about that. I get all amped up and I like everyone having a good time.
Well, you're a big, strong man. Okay.
So, and I'm used to, pushing them and stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's important to talk.
Oh, yeah. This is your first day. Sorry. We're gonna have you sit out and watch.
No, it's important to know that everybody in the gym has a role.
Yep.
The first guy, your first day, it's also somebody else's first day, because that was maybe your first day coaching somebody that's their first day. So it's his first day doing something. Yep. And so you have a role to listen and to learn and to pay attention, and he has a job too. He does know things, but he has to communicate well, and he has to take care of you. And that's what he wants to do.
Yes. And that's first.
Everyone has a role.
As much as I love pushing them and, having a good, hard training session or practice, or whatever you want to call it, we always want to keep everyone safe. I'm always trying to look out for everyone. We're never teaching anything too crazy high level, especially in my beginner class, right? I want everyone of all ages, gender, size, skill level is welcome in my class, right? And I told Richard when I started coaching this beginner's class, my biggest thing is, like I said, I screw jiu-jitsu, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. I was like, whatever, man.
Right.
And I love it now. And I feel like Richard and this gym made me fall in love with it. And I said, that's the one thing, that's what I want my class to do. If I can get one person,
to feel
I'd love it to be 50 people, but if I can get one person to be like me and come in and
feel that feeling.
Yeah, either not like it or not know about it or whatever. And, within a year or two, they're like, this is what they love. It's what they love to do. This is their escape from work and stress and reality. Like, it's just their fun thing to do, whether they're competing or not.
Yeah.
I want my demeanor in my class, curriculum, and just the atmosphere in my room. Like, I want to make someone fall in love with the sport.
Yeah.
And our gym as well. Like, I want people to be like, refer their friends. Like, go in there. It's a good time, like, you'll have fun. They'll take care of you. Learn some cool skills, It's
beautiful.
Right?
He's trying to get people to fall in love, baby. If jiu-jitsu isn't a love story, I don't know what is, okay? We talk about it all the time. You will find love here at Carney Combat Sports.
I'm Truck Daddy here to serve.
Where'd you get that shirt, dude?
Rascal Apparel, Raskol.
Okay.
I got my wife the one that says,
online?
My wife has a muscle mommy one, crop top.
Nice. Nice,
They
dude.
got some pretty cool ones on there.
Nice, dude. So, last 10 minutes here, let's talk about what we got coming up. What we got coming up for the fights, and then what we got coming up for you personally that you're a little excited about and need to get an announcement out about.
Well, I am fighting as well as, goodness, like 11 other people or something from the gym. It's a lot.
Got a squad.
So get your tickets. Come to the show September 9th, right?
Kearney Fairgrounds, Buffalo County Fairgrounds.
Yes, hit up me, Justin Weaver, Richard, Jose, Vanessa, slew of people on the card. I'm not even going to try to name them all because I'm going to forget someone, I promise.
Too many fingers and toes. Too many fingers and toes.
Most, if not all of us, have tickets on hand. Some of us as actually as amateurs even, you get a little bit of your ticket cut, right? So if you like someone or you want to support them or whatever, make sure you hit them up for some tickets. If you do get them online, I believe you can select them as your fighter. That is on nitrotickets, I believe.com. It's on the posters. We'll try to post something up for that too. But yeah, get your tickets, get out to the show, support all of us. Have a good time. It's always a blast. Always a good time. Always a great atmosphere. Family friendly. Bring your kids.
That's right.
Bring your wife.
That's right.
Husband. Whatever.
Bring your people out. Watch a good time. This thing isn't like going to the movies. Okay.
Yeah, come support the gym.
Can't do it. You can't watch it every night.
Just some good old fashioned fisticuffs. Sanctioned, of course.
That's right.
If you want to see unsanctioned, head on down to the bricks afterwards. But no.
That's right. Shay will be there. I will be collecting $3.
I'm sure Shay will be
$3 a hand.
some sort of a scuffle. On the personal side of it, so that's what we got coming up for the gym, right?
There we go.
Personal side of it, for myself, I'm actually headed out to Colorado 2 weeks after my fight. I'm taking my son, who's 7, out to the Rocky Mountain Nationals tournament. They have it's called the Cosmic Clash. They get glow-in-the-dark singlets, and it's all like black lights and all this cool stuff, so they get to be on the mats and experience like this cool. I liked wrestling when I was little. When I was his age, I wasn't even going yet. I started in 5th grade. But we were not wealthy.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite. So we didn't. Yeah,
humble beginnings.
Have a lot of experiences like that, and I want him to be able to experience stuff like that. I don't care if he goes out there and goes out win 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see him do great because that's obviously he's super competitive.
7.
He's a wild man.
He watches you all day.
Richard calls him Ronan the Barbarian.
His name's Ronan?
Yeah, Ronan Weaver. Ronan the Barbarian. When we real quick, squirrel.
You're fantastic.
When we went to like our first parent teachers meeting when he was in preschool, right? I saw it on the paper. They wrote it down as like a note, and me and Megan are looking at each other like trying not to bust out laughing. But apparently when they asked him, and he knows his middle name. He knows it, even at that age at 4 or whatever. But when they asked him his middle name, or his full name, or however they asked it, he said Ronan the Barbarian Weaver. And they just thought that was freaking hilarious. And like I said, he knows his middle name because then I think he did end up telling him, Ronan Dallas Joseph. And but yeah, Ronan the Barbarian Weaver. So he always gets shirts made, with the Barbarian on stuff for my fights and everything. But
good time.
But yeah, I'm taking him out there. He just had his first Jits tournament, when we had our in-house here. That's another thing for the gym. I don't know the date on that, but we are planning on having another in-house tournament.
Can we find it online real quick?
Probably.
Is there a thingy up somewhere?
Probably.
No rules. This is a podcast.
Man,
we can just look at our phones real quick.
I don't know if we might not have posted a date yet. I don't know if we've set a for sure date.
I'm going to go to Instagram.
I want to say, what is it, August?
Oh.
I think it's...
can't go to Facebook. Facebook.
I think it's in September.
September?
I'd have to double
who's
check
gonna have
sure.
Who's gonna have that posted? Rich.
Maybe on Rich Carney Combat.
Happy birthday. Long time ago stuff. No, it'll be Carney Combat. Says we're doing another class or we're doing another fundraiser?
Another tournament. In-house tournament.
Oh, another tournament.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, stay tuned on that.
Yes, definitely. We are having another one. I want to say it's in September, I believe. And we did have our first fundraiser, and that went awesome. So we want to do some more stuff like that.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the rollathon. How'd the rollathon, dude? Yeah, how'd that go?
Amazing. I think we... don't quote me, but I think close to 4,000.
Okay, money doesn't matter. How was it? Was it a good time? Did everybody have smiles on their faces?
Yes, it was awesome.
How many people rolled for that long?
I know there were 2 people.
Shout out to Jackson and some other guy.
Benjamin.
I can't remember. Benjamin
Howie. Yes. Little stud. They were both tore it up the whole time. Love seeing people on the mat that long. That was awesome.
Dude, that was 4 hours. That's a long
Everyone
time.
enjoyed themselves. We sold a lot of food. I made some, barbecue. We had sandwiches and chips and all that good stuff for the kids. Kids had adults too. We had a kids and an adult division for Mario Kart tournament. I think we'll do something like that again. We might do it separate because it was almost too much for one day, right? So we might have like 2 different events.
Yeah, there were so many cool things going on. It felt like you should have dedicated more time to all of it.
Yes.
And then,
so we'll probably do it 2 separate things next time. We'll do like a longer roll-a-thon, I think is the plan.
Nice.
And then on a separate day or whatever, we'll have like a Mario Kart tournament.
Nice.
Richard
and I want to be
games.
there.
Yes.
Richard does love him. Huh? Was he
like
pissed when he lost the belt?
Like oh.
Yeah, no, I want to be there. I want to be there with all my
still.
stuff.
We probably shouldn't even say that too loud. He might.
Oh, he's sensitive?
Yeah.
He's sensitive.
Yeah, I should probably warn him to not listen to like the last 10 minutes of the podcast.
I might have to cut it.
I wasn't dropping 10 F-bombs or anything, Rich. I just...
Rich, we kept it clean. We just roasted you about getting beat by a kid, so... You know what? We like to push you, okay, Rich. We like to push you a little. We want to make you grow. We want to help you grow, okay? You can grow through this.
I'm confident that he's probably spending most of his free time playing Mario Kart.
Yeah,
he's gonna get that belt back. That belt's coming back.
It's funny. I texted him last night at about 9:30, hoping to get a response. He texted me at 4 a.m. So I just got off playing Mario Kart. What's good? It's funny you say that, dude. I forgot he texted me that.
Yeah, he loves his Mario Kart, man.
Tragedy. Should have been studying better, right? Should have been studying, though.
Right.
Guys, I've taken too much of his time. I've taken too much of your time, Mr. Weaver.
No.
Well, we've taken too much of the Panda's time for sure.
Yes.
So he's got to go.
Yes.
And so do I because I drove him here. So, you know what?
I should probably get home to that.
I hate
kids.
Well, they do love you.
Man, there's still a little light left. I can probably get the weed whacker out. It's electric, so it won't even wake up the neighbors, you know? Yeah. Is it bad that I considered buying an electric mower just because I was like, I could mow later at night?
That's actually I respect that hustle. I respect that hustle.
Yeah, I splurged and bought a weed eater, an electric leaf blower, and a power washer the other day because it was on sale. And man, I'm getting old. It's like exciting. It's chores. I'm excited to do chores now. Who am I?
Well, you know what? Let's end on this, okay? He's a man with purpose out here doing his thing, fulfilling his purpose, and feeling fulfilled because he's fulfilling his purpose, okay? That's what happens when you find things that you enjoy. You chase them. You understand that you need to work hard to be able to have the fun, and then you just do it all, okay? You fail at it all. You learn through it, and then you get better, and you turn into a big, strong man who's fighting September 9th. Hit him up on Instagram, Justin Weaver. Guys, this has been episode 7 of Combat on the Couch with the Ugly Franco. I love you. I'm going to edit that out. I hit 2 buttons at once. I'm going to edit that part out.
I'm too used to the slap and bump.
Gotta finish it with the slap and bump.